Hello and welcome back to the SLE. We are here in week 2. We're going to watch Gucci Yang versus Silver Phoenix, and I'm today joined by Algren. I'm super excited. What about you, Algren?
I'm very excited as well. Thank you very much, Jiu Fukuru. That's a mouthful. I'm hoping to see both teams step up from last week. I think they both have something to prove to everybody here in the SLE, going both 1-1. So I think this match should be filled with fire.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think both teams just have what it takes to be like up there in like the higher half of the bracket at the end of split. And seeing both of these teams at one win, one loss from week 1 is heartbreaking, really.
Yeah, I think I think it was mostly heartbreaking for Gucci Yang. I think when you watch that game back, they were like in very much in control that second game as well. But then it kind of like crumbled all of a sudden. And I think they're definitely hungry to show that they can go 2-0 in a week. But then again, on the other side, Silver Phoenix, they had a rough game one, but then the second game, like once they started to get their foothold in the game, they also just started getting traction and just started winning team fights. So yeah, I think they're also hungry to show more. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, and I mean, this is also the first game of week 2, which is very nice. We get like the first game to cast here, and it will already like change the standings by quite a bit because let's say both these teams actually manage to like have a decisive game and one of the teams wins both matches today, then the standings are going to be all scrambled up again, and one of these teams could be back up in like a higher position after 2 weeks of playing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we're also entering draft immediately here. Uh, not gonna waste any time getting into these games. Seeing an Ash ban actually on blue side, showing that they don't want to prioritize this pick right now, because I think it's been rising in popularity. On the opposite side, you see the denial of the Twist Flex going mid, possibly ADC. As there's also an Ivor ban coming out. I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with the LEC, but that's also been a very popular pick, and which is left open is Jarvan as well as Rel. But I think, given that we're still on the OP patch for Jarvan, it has to be banned on red side. I would be shocked if that goes through.
I'm hoping for it, unless they have like prepped something into it. It's most
Nah,
certainly not
it's
gonna stay
taken
open.
away.
And there we go, it's gone. We see the
There's,
first lock-in for Gucci Yang here. What do you think it's gonna be?
I'm predicting it's gonna be the Rel. I think it's also been very popular. Good
I
flex
think
pick.
it's gonna
Although
be Xayah actually.
I should actually say they also have a flex Nico that they've been playing with last week, so maybe they want to reuse that as well. But yeah, Kaisa also something that has been very popular for a very long time, so that might also just be picked up. They
Yeah, I
might.
think Kai'Sa is nice, not too bad.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Apparently, Silver Phoenix is on blue side and Gucci Yang is actually on the red side. So, still a possibility for a possible Nico flex, or are they gonna actually answer the Kaisa with a Jinx? I think the Kaisa has been very strong for a very long time. I think she has a lot of flexible build paths, and Jinx right now not feeling that in particularly powerful, but
It's still hovered, we don't see the lock-in just yet, but there it
not locked
goes!
down.
It is locked in now.
Maybe they just know something that I don't. The Maokai I do really like to pick up because I think Maokai and Kaisa is really strong together, like setting up like good defense with poke in the late game from the Kaisa. One root can lead into a kill.
Yeah.
I wonder if they are also considering to put it mid lane with the Kaisa
Ooh.
because she could, but let's get a Nocturne.
Silver Phoenix
That's
locking
locked
in the Nocturne reply to the Maokai. That is an interesting one I haven't seen before.
I like it. It's showing Kaisa's like really good alongside All In, and
Yeah.
Nocturne is doing just that. Now let's get some more CCs so the Kaisa has options to dive in, and let's just go balls to the wall and go in.
And there's the Rel we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier. This is looking like a phenomenal dive comp for Silver Phoenix already. And it's just the first three picks. We still have some more front-loaded engages being like lock-inable at the top lane and even at the mid lane.
So I wonder if they're going with something like Alistair to peel off the Rel, because I think that's kind of like what people have been going into, which does possibly force you into banning the Sylas, because you don't want to give the Sylas an Alistair ult. But Braum, we have
Braum,
seen a lot of
standard.
yeah, we've seen like I think Flay has been playing it a couple of games, or I think also like the other Gucci team, Wiggy's has also been playing Braum. Maybe it's just like a Gucci thing. Braum does seem to be of good vibes, you know, he's on the job, big stash,
Yeah.
big muscles. He should be able to keep the Jinx alive, or at least let's hope so.
Yeah, Braum has amazing peeling, and especially with the synergy with the Jinx of like Braum passive and Jinx just naturally high attack speed, I definitely see this being a good pick not only for later on in the team fights to peel for the Jinx, but also just in lane as well to maybe punish anytime Rel engages onto them.
Yeah, exactly. So they're actually going to deny a Nico themselves. I think they had high priority last week on this. They're not going to look to take it up this week. So Syndra also banned away from it. I'm not sure. I think they might have played that as well on Rebreathe in the mid lane. It's a fairly standard mid lane pick. I don't think there's like hard counters to it. It always has options. And they're gonna take away a Malphite. I like the Malphite ban. I think if you give away Malphite here, your Jinx cannot play the game. There's nobody who's gonna be able to play, like to be able to peel the Jinx from the big rock. So
Yeah, I think I 100% agree with what you just said. Malphite is just, in general, a scary pick, and especially with a dive comp like this.
and Camille ban, possibly respecting Ruzu on his, I guess one of his old favorite picks, but he hasn't been playing it a lot, so I'm a little surprised seeing the Camille ban coming out. But
Yeah.
maybe they guess that if there's an R5 Camille, they just don't have a blind answer into it. So
I mean, we have seen Ruzo on tank duty in week 1, and now with the current lock-ins, there's already a lot of natural tankiness on the side of Gucci, so I can definitely see Ruzo locking in a bruiser or something with more playmaking, maybe even
Yeah.
something like the Gnar or a cannon that has like a range component to the team as well.
I think a bruiser would look the best here. I think
Yeah.
if there is a target that are gonna dive, it's gonna be the Jinx. So you have two people that's gonna peel for him, but like if you cannot protect this Jinx, depending on what they also lock down here, it might just be impossible, and they need to have a source of 80 damage if their Jinx is gonna fall behind, or kind of
We've
like
got the
covering their
Galio lock in. That's
bases.
amazing. It's been a while since I've seen a Nocturne and Galio team comp, but Silver Phoenix is definitely bringing it in here.
There's like one more pick that can finish the wombo combo, although no, they're not gonna put Galio top, so what I'm thinking of is not gonna happen. But
Were you expecting a Twisted Fate or what?
no, the Oriana to have the ultimate wombo combo. Oh yeah, more protection for the Nocturne. This Jinx is not gonna live. I'm sorry. Like they need
There
to
is
have
the
more
Shen
damage.
as well. We've seen Shen Nocturne already last week on Sunday, but now joined in with a Galio and a Kai'Sa. I think this is one hell of a promising team come to look at, and I really like Silver Phoenix's draft already.
It's got a very clear win condition.
Ooh, but I also like this.
Ooh.
I also like the Gwen.
I'm not too sure, because like they have the Jinx, Braum, Victor, Mauk, and that is like very strong team fighting core. But now adding the Gwen on top of this feels like they're kind of forfeiting the team fight potential, because I don't see how the Gwen is gonna have a big impact in these team fights. I could of course obviously be wrong, right? But everybody's gonna be jumping on your Jinx, and you can't even chase the Kai'Sa because she'll just join them right in your
That's
your
the
own
thing,
backline.
though.
So
I
Right?
think Gwen is really happy to fight like into a team that is fully jumping into them, because that's what Gwen is good at. She's good at disengaging. She has a tough time following up on plays, and usually has to run Ghost and kind of chase people down with her ultimate and her Q to really dish out consistent damage. But if people are running into her, that is pretty much free damage she can dish out, and I think Gwen is a solid pick here.
I mean, you're not wrong in what you're saying there. It's obviously there's an option here, but I don't like the Gwen personally as a teamfight comp, but I do think they need damage on the top lane, because I think the Jinx is not going to live through these team fights. And the question to me is like, how strong is the Gwen going to be before the like Silver Phoenix is like kind of like running them over with their press R comp? Because
Yeah.
it takes a while for this Gwen to come online. I think she needs at least 2 items to do what you're describing there. But if she does go unnoticed in these team fights, and she has like 2, maybe 3 items, she could like. It's a very realistic scenario that if this Kai'Sa goes down, they will not have enough burst left in the tank after they kill Jinx to deal with the Gwen as well. So
Yeah.
this is very realistic. If this goes late, that this Gwen can completely take over. You're actually right, yeah.
That being said, though, you also already mentioned it. Silver Phoenix is running a completely like mindless we press our team comp and
Well,
just
I
tries to
did not
run
say
over.
mindless.
I did say that, but it's just press R, win the fights, and I overall think this is nice, but it can also backfire if Gucci Yang is able to play around these heavy hitting cooldowns for some early ults, for example. Then this could very well change the pace of the game.
Yeah. So I don't know. I honestly, because I'm an AD carry player myself, as a Jinx, even if I have a Braum and a Maokai, I just don't know how you survive Nocturne with Galio and Shen on top of him. I just don't see that happening. I think you have to play Cleanse, Flash, and go Gale Force to get away as far as possible. I think they even still kill you, because then if one piece of CC lands, the Kai'Sa ults in. So they need to put her on their tower permanently. And the big question for me is going to be, though, like, if Silver Phoenix does this, though, if they commit that much, the Gwen does get completely free play on the opposite side of the map. And if she can start taking
Exactly.
towers, and they don't get towers after they kill the Jinx, then the map state might still be advantageous to Yang. So I think it's like the pivot into split pushing, maybe it might actually just work.
One more thing that I think is really important to say, Jinx is like the only solid source of 80 damage that
Yeah.
Gucci Yang has drafted. So her staying alive for as long as possible in teamfights is going to be quite important. And I think that Cleanse is a good idea, but maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Ghost also seems like a really nice summoner as a secondary for the Jinx, especially in combination with a Gale Force. And you just kind of just hoping to have the really fancy feet to dodge every single CC this enemy team has to offer.
Yes, and every strategy starts with hoping, I guess. I will say though, I think Gans is a very good player though. So I think if it comes to
Yeah,
having fancy feet, sidestepping a Shen taunt, or like the Rel, if she doesn't have ult at least, because otherwise there's no way you sidestep the W. But if you can sidestep those important CC cooldowns, then if you get out, if you do manage to get away, like create some space, she can start hammering away with those rockets. So because they're all going
also
to be
Jinx
stacked.
has her E to kind of at least zone out the obvious CCs that could be thrown at her at least a little bit, because they act almost as like a meat shield for the Jinx. Same as Braum and Maokai will.
Yeah, yeah, she can definitely zone like a Rel or like a Galio who wants to just use an E straight on. There's options. There's options. It's obviously not impossible, but I think a lot of it is going to come down like in the early game where pre-6. I think if they can get a good advantageous map position where they get to be on the objective first, I think like Prio through mid lane here with the Victor having range advantage over Galio. Although Galio being quite good against magic damage dealers, he might be able to withstand some of the poke. If they can
Yeah,
actually move to the objective first and they force the enemy to blow their cooldowns and Jinx can like flash over a wall, if one of these fights in the early game goes bad and they fall behind, maybe they don't even have the damage anymore on Nocturne or
yeah,
Galio when they do the combo. And then if Jinx just lives in the next fight afterwards when they try again, maybe it's already too late, and maybe the Gwen is already starting to scale up, and then the Maokai, because we can't forget about Maokai damage, by the way, it's actually kind of disgusting. I think
yeah.
it's something
I'm
that goes
hoping
under
for a
the
tanky
radar.
Maokai build here though.
I think like AP Bruiser type of Maokai build with a lot of percent max health damage, because I think you want to have all the damage you can get. Um,
I think that will
so
happen, but I'm still hoping for tankiness because I think the longer the Maokai lives, the more safe the Jinx is overall.
true, but I think she's never going to be the Maokai at least is never going to be the main target anyways. But I guess we'll have to see how they're gonna prioritize their focus in targets anyways, because well Victor's
Yeah,
also immobile, he could also be the target, so I think it's also up to Silver Phoenix to decide who to engage on first depending on who is like on vision in something, because that's also an important part. If this dragon is completely dark, for example, and they start fighting on it and you don't even see the Jinx, you can't press R as Nocturne. So
exactly.
priority might be the saving grace against the press R comp. So
Yeah, but we
what
also have
I'm
some
looking at.
really tanky opponents with the Shan, with the Galio, that and the
Yep,
Rel to just walk into River.
true.
That being said, though, uh, similar to Gucci Yang's comp, the 80 damage is really short on Silver Phoenix's side, without the Kai'Sa. So I'm hoping uh,
We've
that
also seen a lot of AP Kai'Sa builds as well, so they are very heavy on magic damage. Aside from the Nocturne is actually a pure physical damage dealer. Hopefully, it
yeah,
goes
true.
lethality. Um,
Uh, but what I was gonna highlight is I think the ADC to ADC matchup here in this game is going to be really important and is going to like set the tone for like the later half of the game.
yeah, for sure. I do kind of favor Silver Phoenix bot lane in the early game, although they have a Braum. Actually, no. With the Braum, I think it's probably fairly even. I was gonna say that I think the Kai'Sa's just more damage in the early game, but the Braum's just gonna play defense. If the Rel goes in, she's gonna get stunned. And if the Jinx uses her chompers to block any other follow up from the initial Rel engage, then I think she just kind of runs down the Rel and loses a lot of health. So I think they should have a very advantageous bot lane on the side of Yang. But it's yeah, I don't think it's gonna come down to just pure lanes. It's gonna be team fights, which I'm excited for. This is
Yeah,
you're gonna see a lot of cooldowns blowing at the same time.
I think overall these fights are going to be like the most hype thing about this first game. And I mean, we highlighted both team comp strengths and weaknesses. Let's get a bit spicy here. Who do you think is going to take game one?
I find it hard to predict because, like, when I look at the teams on paper and they look at the, like, for example, the show matches, not really like quoting like the power rankings or anything. I think that those are only going to become like really relevant later down the season when you've seen everybody face up and you get really feeling of who is comparatively stronger than every other team. I do kind of like favor Yang in the whole run of the season, but they have like, I guess like a little bit of a iffy mistakes last week. I think they can fix that. And on the other side, like Silver Phoenix, really hungry to prove themselves. I think I do really like their draft though. So even with the fact that I think that Yang on paper should be like the favorite coming into this series after this draft, I do think kind of like it should be a win for Silver Phoenix. I think if they play their comp right, they should be a decisive victory for them.
Yeah, I think based on draft, I will also give it to Silver Phoenix simply because I believe that they have more playmaking and uh, they have a really easy time to build up an early lead. And I think Gucci Yang is going to struggle with fighting against the early lead. That being said, though, and this is where my other side comes in, Gucci Yang's uh, team comp is really strong late game, and if they just manage to live the first 15 minutes without falling behind, I think they will be the ones to take the game. But at least for now, I'm gonna give my vote to Silver Phoenix as well.
Yeah. So yeah, about the late game potential, I don't think it's like the game is ever going to be even in the late game situation. I think it's whoever gets traction in this game first, gets the early lead and snowballs off it, is just going to run away with it. Because I think if the comps are fighting on even gold, I think it should be Silver Phoenix. But if you're snowballing on Gucci Yang, you get like a Locket on Braum, a Knight's Vow on Maokai, maybe even like a Redemption also. So like to make sure that that first engage is just going to be the Knights, then this Jinx can absolutely pop off in these fights. But if they have enough damage, I think they can buy anti-heal. They can buy like Serpent's Fang to deny shielding. They should just make it through those fights. So I think it's gonna be coming down, and you can't forget about the laning phase. The first 50 minutes of the game, so important, and I think the biggest edge for Gucci Yang. I think they're like a team that have also been practicing a lot, so I think that's where they have their advantage. And if they can snowball, they definitely have a good chance of winning this game.
Yeah, and I I'm just so hyped to see the first game of week two. And I mean, we have at least one of my personal favorites or my one of my picks that I expected to be on the top of the leaderboards really early on, which is Gucci Yang. And one of the darker horses that I did not even have too much context on before the split with Silver Phoenixes. And we're heading into game, and we both gave our votes to Silver
Let's
Phoenix for
go.
this one.
All right, let's get into it. Enough delay. We're gonna look potentially an invade already, but
Oh, there's the confidence already from Gucci Yang getting that early ward in. This is probably going to get sweep later.
I think that was the Nocturne who planted his ward in that bush, and yes, as you're exactly pointing out, it is a sweeper immediately, so he's gonna be clearing those wards. Actually, there's two wards down. I don't know if he can get both with the first sweeper proc, but Gucci Yang definitely they want to know where this Nocturne is starting. As we see Maokai pathing top, so they are definitely going to protect their bot lane here. They're going to play for Kanze on the Jinx. I think that's a very smart decision. They need to get this guy to start snowballing. They need to get the tanks up and running. And I think whenever the Shen is ulting, the Gwen's going to be left alone, maybe getting plating anyway, so I think it's a good
Yeah,
decision. And as I said, with that first sweeper ping, they do not spot the first red ward. So he's going to be doing it on full vision. But, as he swept it, they already know he's not going to be in time to run to the other side, so they know where they start.
yeah.
Maybe a
And
level
now
1 fight
let's
here?
see this early interaction. We have Kanze hitting those rockets, and we know how strong the early game Jinx and Braum combos, and there is already such a big trade against Top Havity.
Yeah, Kanze immediately abusing the fact of the rockets are such a long range that the Kai'Sa does not have an answer to. Neither does Zarel. Like, she doesn't want to engage in the beginning anyway. She would lose a lot of health to do that.
Especially versus a Braum. I think an
Yes,
early level
exactly.
1 engage, this is would be lethal.
It's the Braum passive as well as a potential slow, so as the ward times out right before Nocturne starts, but he was probably spotted running down the Krugs anyway, so
I hope so. I think he was spotted out. I can't imagine him walking around the long way.
meanwhile
And
they have full vision on Maokai.
we do see both junglers making their ways to separate lanes. We see the trading on top lane Ruzu. getting in a bit of damage. And what are you expecting just right off the bat with the current lane states?
So they know that Nocturne has the full clear. He needs to get his level 6 power spike as soon as possible, right? So they know he's pathing top. So I hope that Ruzu is aware of this. He should let his wave come back, be safe, soak the pressure from the Nocturne. And meanwhile, that gives a very big advantage that they have their jungler bot side, where
Oh,
the enemy
Ruzu
does
is
not.
going to spot out Shanks here.
It's a
Just putting
great
a ward though.
He knows exactly where Nocturne is.
And that
As
is communicated to the team.
yeah, and we have a potential 3v2 in bot lane here. I hope they're gonna be able to find an angle. Silver Phoenix, I hope they're prepared also for this situation. They know the Maokai is coming though, so they should make sure that they are not gonna get caught here by the flash. I think it's like the flash root, flash W from the Maokai. I think it's he does
Yeah.
not care about his flash cooldown in the early game. So as he's going to be walking down there now to see a little bit of a trade in top lane.
And he's not on vision. But SPX is playing it well so far, avoiding the gank.
I think they spotted him just outside of the vision range on that ward, so they do know the Maokai is down there. It's kind of as expected anyways. He'll just take the Scuttle Crab as his price. As he might potentially look for a regank. Meanwhile, Nocturne hasn't chosen to reset, but he's just gonna start clearing down again. Potentially looking for his own gank, but Maokai's going.
Oh, there's the engage. Revelo not entirely getting the play off, and Topavity and Alageisha are fine in this play, but their wave is still not looking too great, and now Shanks is there to cover.
He's gonna potentially run into this Maokai.
Oh, and Revelo has to be careful. He goes for the engage, gets a good Q off, but Topavity is at half health. Shanks is getting exhausted, and there's the re-engage. Beautiful two-man stun by Topavity, and Flay today has to flash out. Burn is taking it. That's the first blood to Topavity. And Alligator looking for more.
goes
The
again!
root is coming in. Revelo has to be careful, but the fully stacked lethal tempo on flash ward. Alligator puts the kill, dies to the turret. Kanze gets excited.
Can he keep going?
But I don't think he can go for a play here. He's not dealing enough damage to Topavity just yet. Gets the seed now, and Shanks is coming in closer. Not enough distance passed though, and Kanze is able to hit some more rockets. And I think this play is over. I hope it is.
I hope they're not. Yeah, okay. They're not gonna dive the Jinx here. But that was a very long extended fight. It started kind of like the Maokai kind of like in an awkward spot. He blew his flash earlier trying to get this kill, so he can't
Here
really
is
get out.
so lethal. Another two-man stun.
Oh, that was. I think it was a 3-man stun as well. But the ignite just quite ticks out, gets the Braum down, and I think this re-engage is a little bit too overzealous. As this Kaisa, it's very strong near the game. She's also on lethal tempo, so this was a very long exchange. Both AD carries stacking up
In
lethal
the
tempo.
meantime, we saw Solo Bolo on the top lane.
Oh, we did. That is a big. Yeah, that's I guess what we were highlighting. I guess this very strong top side for the Gwen. She has this advantage, I guess, against the Shen. The only thing you can do is W those auto attacks, but then there's still that Q that you can't block. So Ruzu kind of like saving it, making it a 2-for-2 for now, as we see Silver Phoenix actually winning out in the first bot lane skirmish.
Yeah. That being said, though, Kanze did get a kill, which means he's not really behind in any stats and gold. It's only play that added to the gold counter of Topavity here. And with the early kill in the top side of the map for Ruzu, I think Gucci Yang is in a fine position so far.
Yeah, well, I would say it's kind of like still even right now.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
too early to see who's ever gonna snowball this out of control. But it's definitely a scary prospect if this Gwen gets 2 ahead, then she takes towers incredibly fast. And if Shen
We
then
have
teleports,
the grand entrance with
Oh.
the north with the Galio right now, and there is the CC against Revelo. He's getting zoned out of his own jungle. General Demo is still going for more, gets knocked back though, and there is SPX now on the first Drake. The Mountain Drake is being started, and they
yeah,
are
we see
all
the
man on the
Galio.
river. Is Gucci going to go
they
for the
might.
contest? Revelo is there, and there's the bot lane also moving up, and There is still the grand entrance at the ready, and it's being used. Revelo has to be careful, but it's not getting knocked up. But a flash forward from Shanks should be doing the job, and there's the kill. There's the flash forward from General Demo. 3-man taunt. Beautiful stuff there, but Flay and Kanze are looking to turn around the play. Topavity is going to get CC'd, and this is a lot of damage. There is the kill for Kanze, the reset coming in, and Topavity is going to be falling as well, most likely, but he flashes over the wall, saving himself just barely in time. And what a fight around the Drake.
He's still looking though. The fight really nice coming out from Silver Phoenix on the beginning here. Like they just catch Revilo just too far away from his team. They had Prio and they used to get this initial
now
kill.
Shanks coming in. There is also the Shen ultimate at the ready if needed, but it's not even needed. Topavity securing yet another kill for himself, and Shanks is looking to at least make one kill his own against Flay today right now. But the slow is coming in. Is it enough? Actually, no. Flay gets out. No kill for Shanks.
And meanwhile, again a solo in top. And I saw just now.
Yeah.
As we go into the replay here, you see actually Revilo is actually starting off this fight, but they have the Galio ultimate, and then he's just cut off from his team. He's caught without flash. He'll just drop down. And as nice as this flash, as nice as this taunt flash looks, I think it's just your Kai'Sa was out of the fight. The Victor ult was zoning her away. She can't follow it up, and then they just extend it with the Braum passive, and they just find that first kill. With the passive, almost getting a second kill on the Jinx there. But it's going blow for blow. Nocturne just quickly went to clear a camp, gets level 6, and runs down the Jinx there. I believe that may have been also a shutdown as well, so it's looking good for Silver Phoenix, but the top lane is burning, though, I will say that. So Ruzu taking his team on his back, maybe? Maybe can we see a solo? Some more solo bolos, maybe on camera this time.
I mean, there is a chance that we will have a camera panning to top lane at least once this game. That being said, though, I think both teams have still like all the playmaking that they need, and Silver Phoenix is actually starting up the Drake again. Alexia has to be careful accepting that wave here. And now the Gucci bot lane is moving up to contest the Drake themselves, but there's also General Demo.
This is a 4v4.
There is the Maokai ult coming in, zoning out SPX, and now it's Gucci Yang on the Drake.
Still contesting?
And there's the Drake going over to Yang.
That's first Drake, 10 minutes, rather late. The Herald has also been picked up by Revilo here, so that's actually both objectives for Revilo. Some redemption coming out from him from getting caught now twice, but he's getting both objectives at least, so he must be feeling good about that. You saw here that the Kai'Sa was not ready to take this Drake, and I don't think they have the damage to burst it that fast, so you see them coming up, the Maokai ult comes down, and they just push them off, and they get the free Drake for themselves in this way. So really nice play from Gucci Yang here to respond to that Drake.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the top lane. This time we see the full trade. Ruzu actually getting a really even trade, but the Conqueror is really nice to return that trade again and getting more damage in.
I feel like he's just preparing the kill so that when the camera pans out, he can finish it off. So they should try to time the aggression not to happen at the same time, as we see Nocturne fishing for something. Kaz is standing back. They might know something's up here.
We might be seeing, depending of the Galio moving.
You can see the Victor coming down here. They know this is happening.
This could be a fight.
They know this is happening.
Galio. There is the ult. There's the paranoia. Chang's in trouble, but there's the ult from Shen, and there's the TP on the other side of the map. Kanze finds the first kill for Anacacia on 1 HP. Ruzu picks up the kill. Ruzu with a beautiful ult, and the double kill for him.
Are they gonna
another
ace?
for Kanze. This is the bot lane moment. This is the difference between bot lane and top lane. When have you last seen a 5v5 at minute 11 around the top side of the map? I have never.
This was a beautiful play from Yan. They're actually reading the play so nicely. They know that if the Jinx walks up, this Nocturne's gonna ult him. They must have felt this was coming. They're moving down Victor as well. He was already there by the time he pressed R. The Maokai was also running there. And this time, Ruzu's not waiting to get a kill off camera here. He's going to TP, and he wants to impact it. TP unlocks at 10 minutes now. He's going to pick up some nice kills here at the same fight, and the Jinx does not go down, and you see the value of the passive coming through as they almost get an ace at 11 minutes. Beautiful stuff here from Gucci Yang.
And now the groundwork is laid for Gucci Yang to just snowball this game. They have a really hard winning Gwen with 4 kills, 5 stacks on her Darksteel, and the Jinx that has also 4 kills is already on her first item and is building into her second. This is a great position for them.
This is what we were saying, right? Like if this team starts getting ahead, if you start snowballing, if you keep up the tempo, they can just it doesn't matter that they can press all their combos because they're just not gonna have enough gas in the tank to actually run them over properly. This Gwen is terrifying right now. She's almost on her second item at 30 minutes. She's at 2.5 right now. Oh, 1.5, sorry. And this Jinx, as you also point out, she's also on 4 kills. She takes quite a while to scale. She's a lot weaker than she used to be, best thing.
Oh, look at Allegatia. Flay is coming in for the stun, and there is Kanze picking up another kill. Topavity also not getting out of this one, has to flash. There's another stun, though. Is it enough? There's the paranoia from the Nocturne, though. Is he going to go for it? I don't think so. It is on the top side of the map. And Ruzu with the Ghost is maybe considering even looking for another play there. He should be able to fight this with the minions at least.
Yeah, I think he just 2v1s here, to be honest.
Oh, there's the E from the Shanks, though, and another E coming in from Kimmich Mantle, but it's not enough just yet, and Ruzu has the fully stacked Conqueror. There's the kill.
There he goes!
There's the double kill, the 1v2!
He does it!
Look at the moves from Ruzu, this man's on fire!
I think that's 2 items for him at this point. He's also gonna pick up more. Oh, the plates have actually dropped. He might be able to finish the tower.
General Demo
Another
is not
kill.
going to get out of this one. He's getting CC'd all over the place. There is the flash, so he is quite tanky with the mercs and gets out. But another flash burn, and
Flay almost got him.
is lighting up the map on fire.
They're on a tear immediately. This one play is going right, and they're trying to get the Gwen, but she's too far ahead.
Is so confident. But the base damage of Ruzu just throwing Qs is almost enough to take Shanks down on his own, and the minions do the
minions
trick.
On his side. As he gets the double kill. Massive play there from Ruzu, and I think he finished his boots. And I think if he would have sold his Dorn's ring, I think he would have been able to already finish his second item at it's not even 15 minutes. He's so far ahead. As before the fight started, I was making just the point that while Jinx is a lot weaker and she takes a lot longer to come online, with those early kills that she's been getting, I think she's also almost hitting her second item, which is what if she hits 3, especially if the Kai'Sa is not even close to finish her second, I think it's just absolutely over this game.
We both agreed pre-game that Jinx should build Gale Force this game, but have we considered Jinx getting so ahead? Is there a world in which she builds IE and just goes for a high DPS?
I suggested it because I thought without Gale Force there's no way you stay alive, but I think if you're snowballing you might as well lead into the damage, so whoever jumps in just gets blown up. Like with Victor and Jinx together.
In the whole game so far we've seen Kanze and the rest of Gucci Yang in general performed really well around that Silver Phoenix engage. So I think it is not even needed to build Gale Force here.
I think if the defensive items come out from Maokai and Braun, I think she should be fine. I think right now the Nocturne also needs his items. He finished his boots, so he hasn't even finished. I believe what he's going for is a Stride Breaker. So he's not even getting his first item yet. While the Maokai has also finished Radiant Virtue, giving that extra defensive stats to keep the Jinx alive when he presses R. So it's looking really tough right now for Silver Phoenix. Like just that bot play has been snowballed out of control. As we're just kind of getting into a little bit of some low action state right now. I think they're going to be looking to play over the Herald next year because the Drake has already been taken. Second Drake for Gucci Yang on track for the scaling.
And we are just moments away, I think, from Gucci Yang taking the Herald. We're getting a bit of mid lane priority here. And this is pretty hard to come back from for Silver Phoenix.
Yeah, you start to wonder what they can do to fight back. I think their comp has a clear win condition, so I think at this point they need to not just send only Nocturne and Shen against somebody, but like you need the damage there. I think you need the guys to finish something off. I think if they want to do something, I think they should just cross map it here. As you see Victor walking far away.
There's the
He's,
paranoia.
they wanted to go for the pickoff on the side, but Rebreathe with the heads up walking away from the tower, as that's a big cooldown again blown for nothing being gained. It's looking very dire for Silver Phoenix.
It's not just the paranoia though, it's also the Twilight from Shen that is...
Oh, they brought down the Shen ult. I didn't even notice. You're right.
Yeah, the Twilight Assault is also down, and that's very painful.
Yeah, that's an even longer cooldown. This is the Herald is actually going to be shut down there. It was a nice nice sneaky little auto from the Kai'Sa there. He hits the eye, shuts it down. Not going to get another free tower for Qi Yang, but they drop mid tower, which means they get even more control into the enemy jungle, which is gonna be awful for Silver Phoenix to deal with, because if with more deeper wards, it's even easier to keep track of this Nocturne, so they know exactly where he's gonna attack next. And I think at this point,
Ruzu is looking for a play on Kimmick Mantle, and he has the Shadow Flame finished, which is just a great item into Silver Phoenix's team. Everyone is abusing shields, and Ruzu has had enough and is just buying the most anti-shield item you can think of.
she's 601. She's worth 1,000 gold. It would be nice to pick that up, but I don't even know if they can do it. I think this Gwen is too terrifying. I think you're hoping that at this point that Yang is just overstepping and making a mistake, which I don't see any reason why they should make those mistakes at this point. It's looking really, really clean from them. But I find it very hard at this point to see how they can get back into this game if Yang keeps control over this Nocturne. They see these engages coming, they don't let open an opening, then I just don't know how Silver Phoenix are going to come back from this.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for them to come back, and it's gonna come down to if Gucci Yang is going to make some grave mistakes here, which is really hard, at least from their position, to make. They would have to put like a Jinx on the side lane and let her get free manned to even like give way to Silver Phoenix's comeback.
Looking here to steal a bit more of camps away from
Rebreathe is
Phoenix
in a position where he could be
going.
ulted, and there is General Demo, and Shanks going for the play, and that's exactly what they need. Shanks finds the kill, and Top Heavy with the Magnet Storm finds play today. Flay has to flash over the wall. Revelo has to be careful, he's quite tanky naturally. And now look at Algasia, he's looking for a play here. The Guardiol coming in, and Revelo's taking a lot of damage. He's going to be next one to fall. Hanze is getting a few free hits.
Ruzu!
But Ruzu is turning the play around the ghost. Gwen, the perfect play.
The Jinx is
and
excited!
Hanze is hungry for more, flashing forward.
Flash forward!
And that's a really, really good turnaround of the fight for Gucci Yang, and they're looking to Baron here.
It starts off so nice. They pick up the victor here actually in a fashion that they have to. They have to force some of these picks like this. The one guy that's a little bit out of position, but they go too much. They go too far. The Gwen arrives and they can't deal with both Gwen and Jinx at the same time if they've blown all of their cooldowns on the victor. So there's right now 3 big threats, and handling them all is what is gonna be the downfall for this team. As we see a 21-minute Barret for Yang. I don't know if they can contest this. They don't have Nocturne ult, they don't have Shelling ult.
Ruzu has to be careful though, he can't finish the Baron just yet. Revelo's not there yet, now they're finishing it, and the fight is being turned around by Silver Phoenixes, but is it enough? There is Ruzu still on the board, Kimmick meant to falls to Chikanze, and Top Avity is the next one to fall in the line. There's Rebreathe getting the kill, and that is at least 3 kills, and there's the Paranoia. Is Kanze able to win this? He is triple kill for Kanze. One last player remains on the side of Silver Phoenix, but Algesha is not able to get away from Revelo. Revelo getting the root, and that is the ace for Gucci Yang, and they have all the tools they need. Are they able to finish it against the low respawn timers of Silver Phoenix? I think that Silver Phoenix lives to fight another day, at least one more time.
I think they might go for the end here. So 20 seconds. It might be a little bit too early. They're at least going to get a double inhibitor here. But Gucci Yang on a tear here. they're just going to back off here. The cooldowns, the death timers, I should say, are a little bit too low. There's a dragon up for the taking for free. The Baron it's barely begun. They have plenty of time to siege for more. They can go for both bot and mid at the same time here. They should pick up even more gold. They're finishing off massive items. That's now 3 items for the Gwen. It's on the opposition. It's 1.5. I don't know how you can stop this Gwen. And as we talked about, right? Maybe you need a Gale Force to get away from all of this mess. Or Kansas says no. Like let's just build more damage. And before it's kill or be killed. The Nocturne goes on top of the Jinx, and the Jinx is like, yeah, this is right where I want you to have where I want to have you, and he's just gonna kill him in his face.
The problem that Nocturne is experiencing against the Jinx is the Jinx being level 14 and naturally having some more tanky stats from that level. And it's really hard when you're that behind on Nocturne to do anything to an ADC because you can't one-shot her.
It's just no way. You don't have the gold, you don't have the XP, you don't have the cooldowns when you saw it on the Baron.
And there's Shank looking for an engage of 3 man, and there is the big Galio. Old Rebrief is the first one to fall. Shanks gets the kill. Kimmich Mental is going for more, but there's Kansei. He's just hitting away happily, and that should be the ace, and it should be game. Gucci Yang with an absolute stellar performance. 11 Oruzu, 12-1 Kansei, and just phenomenal teamwork all over the map.
You gotta respect it. They were looking at a very dire situation. Super minions running in top lane. They're gonna be able to Baron up 2 other waves. They pull the trigger. They say it's now or never. It almost looks good at the beginning, but Kansei is kiting it out so beautifully. They don't get the Jinx. She gets excited. She runs them over. The protection is there as they can lock in 1-0 in this series. Gucci Yang takes the first game.
Yeah, and really convincingly so. I think it was a really well-deserved win, but it's also kind of completely disprove or prediction from pre-game. I went into this just based off drafts, and I actually think for the most part it was fine until Gucci Yang found those like incredible plays. I think the most memorable highlight from the game is the 5v5 on bot lane at minute 11, which just set the tone for the rest of the game, and Gucci Yang just one of stellar teamwork, really.
Yeah, there were 2 theories I had. So either the comp diff is too big from Silver Phoenix, or the laning and the early game is too strong and they snowball away with the game for Gucci Yang. And it's exactly as you said, that around the 11-minute mark, that I guess it was a 5v5 actually, with the TPs coming down the Chenault, that absolutely broke open the early game. They took so much gold there. And then afterwards, they find, like 2 minutes later, they find some more picks as they try to kill the Gwen in the top lane, but fail to do so. And mid lane is also losing a fight. It just falls completely apart, and Gucci Yang, they just run away with the game. So I think it was a very, very nice heads-up play actually on the 11-minute mark. I think you should really look at the minimap. They were so ready for that fight, and you're going to have to see some adaptations from Silver Phoenix, because apparently just with the Nocturne Shen combo, I think it's a very good strategy, but it's not working against Gucci Yang, I guess.
Yeah, I think Gucci Yang is just a really principled and tight-knit team, to the point where, yes, they are great individual players as well, as we've seen, like especially with Kansei and Ruzu here, but also their teamwork in this just was superior, and that's why they won. And I think now for the second game, if Silver Phoenix wants to have a chance at least drawing out the series, they have to find a different way to play than just a very simple we click our alt buttons and win comp. Because while that is good, it is also very easy to counter once you understand the general principles of what those comps do. And I think Gucci Yang proved that they definitely do that.
Yeah, I think it's a too narrow win condition, I believe, in the draft from Silver Phoenix here. You either get that kill on the carry, and you hope that they don't have any damage left to answer it, or you just get run over. And I think too early on in the game did it go wrong. So I think the power from this draft, I think, mostly shines after 15 minutes, where the side laners are more vulnerable to attack. I think Herald is absolutely vital for this comp. If you get those first towers, you can make the lanes a lot longer, so you can attack them with the Nocturne, so they can't get away. Like they don't have the tower safety. You saw that 11-minute fight. The Jinx kind of got to her tower. The Nocturne couldn't finish her off, and she drops. She gets excited, and yeah, it looks very dire from there on out. I think you're also looking at like the top lane. I think if we swap sides, we definitely need probably a different champion coming out in the top lane that can survive Ruzu's Gwen or his other picks, because I think it also kind of fell apart a bit there as well. I think this Gwen got ahead really, really far, really early on. So you're looking at a very dire team fight if this Gwen is fed and you get the kill on the Jinx, but the Gwen is running over the team, as you actually highlighted with why you like the pick so much, then it's, just getting the kill on the Jinx, which is what their draft was supposed to do. It's not enough.
Yeah. And now, before we get ready for game 2 and head into the draft soon, let's quickly discuss who was your MVP for this game. Because for me, it's a really obvious choice, but I want you to say it first.
So I think I have to highlight how everybody was playing together very well. Like everybody was moving down and reading the game state correctly. They all played as a team very nicely. I think it was really nice to see how Kanze survived those fights. But I think when you look at the individual performance, also making a big difference and picking up, even when the other carries go down, he just runs it over. I think it's got to go to Ruzu for me. I think it was too big of a top gap in this game, so I gotta give it to Ruzu.
I definitely am on the same page with you. I think Kanze's performance was great as well, and he would have deserved MVP for this kind of performance in any other game.
Yeah.
However, Ruzu completely smurfed it from minute 1, I feel, and is showing once again why he is one of my favorite top laners in the SLE so far. But it's also high expectations for him for every game, and I'm expecting him to play like this in the second game as well. And he definitely highlighted the Gwen pick really well in the first game.
Yeah, I think it's really sad for Kanze, I guess, if your top laner smurfing, getting 2 solo kills, and then I think he got 2 solo kills and then he won a 2v1. So it's kind of hard to then still get MVP, I guess, if he's also participating in all the team fights with the Gwen. So it's unfortunate for Kanze, because I think he played it really well. He did a great job at staying alive in most of those fights. I think he only died like 1 time, maybe. I can't remember it fully, but Gwen didn't even die once. So yeah, as you highlight, I'm curious to see game 2 as well, because obviously I want to see them still popping off.
Okay. And while we're waiting for the second draft to happen, we're going to head into a quick break. We're going to be right back. Go grab yourselves a drink and refresh yourself for the next game between Gucci Yang and Silver Phoenix.
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these girls, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. When I
All right, we are back with the first game of week 2 in SLE Split 5. And Gucci Yang has taken the first game, and we're ready for game 2. We're so excited, and I'm still joined by Algren. Algren,
Yep.
tell me,
I'm back.
how excited are you?
I'm really excited. I thought we saw a very, very nice game one from Gucci Yang. I think it was really nice to see a nice team cohesion there. So I want to see also what the response is going to be from Silver Phoenix. I'm curious if they can actually like bounce back and actually fight this Gucci Yang squad, because I think they're quite a good team. Looking at the standings, I think they might be one of the favorites. So let's see if they can actually clap back.
Yeah, and we're heading into draft this time. Gucci Yang on the blue side, banning away the Tristana is interesting, I think. And they're once again facing Silver Phoenixes, and they're sticking with the Ash band, so nothing too different.
I
So
don't
far.
think anything changed so far. Yeah, I don't remember all three bans, but there's the Lilia. Yeah, again, I remember they also banned it again last time. We saw the Jarvan ban on red sides still last game. I don't know if Silver Phoenix is going to commit to that. Maybe they think that Gucci Yang wants to play with something more like a Maokai anyways. They're going to ban the Thresh as well. It's respect to the support, Flay today, it's in his name. He loves that
Yeah.
Thresh, so they don't want to see it on the Rift.
I
Yes.
think we might be seeing a Jarvan left open if Silver Phoenix is not gonna ban it on free.
I'm not sure what they want to do. Like, if you leave open the Maokai, it's also a very strong pick. They went with a Protect comp last time when they got the
I
Maokai.
think they will be banning
They're gonna ban it
No,
themselves.
it's actually Gucci Yang is banning it. That's
Okay.
curious.
I think you
I
just
still
ban the
think-
Jarvan.
I think it should be a Jarvan ban too, but I think
Oh.
they're sticking with the Ivern.
Let's see if Gucci Yang wants to go for the
Yeah.
Jarvan then.
Jarvan open, and it's
There it is.
already hovered on B1. That's
it
how
is.
strong Jarvan is at
Insta-lock.
the moment.
That's an insta-lock. I think I've been on the receiving end last week against this pick. It got through draft. It has an EQ every 3 or 4 seconds. You're not moving. I'm curious what they have as an answer into this. Because while Poppy is the obvious answer, because it can block the flag and drag combo, it cannot stop the ultimate. And that might be a scary prospect depending on what kind of carries you want to play. So going with a Wukong. We are back to the patch of May.
Yeah, we see Wukong Ezreal. Well,
Ezreal, I guess that's just to survive this Jarvan. The ultimate not having too much value against Ezreal. Also not against Wukong. So far, I guess like the Jarvan not that much value, but the Jarvan is just really strong in individual damage as well. So it's not just the CC. As we are waiting for Gucci Yang to respond to the Ezreal here. It's gonna be
we see
Saya.
Saya, and I think we're gonna see it paired with a Rakan. I
Yeah, that
think that's
could
very
be a good guess.
realistic.
It's definitely a possibility. They can also still stick with something more defensive here. Maybe they're wanting to blind something else or show like another flex champion, because I think support, it's always interesting to counter support anyways. If they have another flex pick would be
There's a
great.
Nautilus. And it's locked in.
That is a bit strange to me, because I don't think you have any threat on the Ezreal with Nautilus here. Ezreal has a
Exactly.
flash with CC immunity on a 15-second cooldown. So, but I guess the Nautilus can play defensive, but Nautilus famously not that tanky. As the Braum answered into the Nautilus, I think that's a very good pickup for Silver Phoenix. If Nautilus ever goes in, Braum passive is gonna make him regret it.
Yeah. That being said, though, I think that's only for in lane. Out of lane, these two champions will pretty much be fine against each other, but they won't be doing much to each other anyway, I believe.
Well, it's if the Nautilus goes in and Braum can block it after 50 minutes, if it's like a 3v3 in mid lane or something, and if he dies and the Braum doesn't, that's an advantage to me. So it's also the ultimate that comes in, right? Like they have to follow up even further. I think if Nautilus goes in, it's very hard for Saya to follow up through a Braum ultimate. She doesn't have any dashes of her own, and blowing your ultimate aggressively is very risky. Now, if the fight's already starting off good for you, you can do this, but if the enemy still has answers to you, then blowing that ultimate too soon, maybe the Wukong can actually just rough you up real good. So, the other problem I have with the draft right as it stands right now, the Braum is also very good with the shield to block the feathers from Zaya. So, whoever's getting picked off, the Zaya can't reach him behind the Braum shield. So, I think this Braum pick, I like it a lot. As we see Zerath band coming out, I think it's been very strong. Long range, good poke, can follow up on dives, can follow up in side lanes because the range is ridiculous.
I think the Xerath pick indicates one thing though. I think that is Silver Phoenix wants to potentially pick Azir on 4th pick here.
Yeah, that is a very good possibility. I think it's a very good counter into Azir because he can kind of just outpoke him, and even though Azir has decent range, not
And there we
hard
go,
enough.
there it is.
Yeah, good prediction. That is actually, if they actually lock it in, I think they should. I think it makes sense. It can just shovel away the Jarvan if he does go in.
I think we've
So-
seen in the first game already why Silver Phoenix should not want to pick first pick on top lane blind. They're looking to get a counter here to Ruzu, and I think Ruzu will probably play something tankier in this game.
The question is though, like, because R5 is very valuable to get a good counter matchup, to get a winning lane, but do you have something that actually is going to answer the wide champion pool from Ruzu? Because he plays a lot of
Exactly.
champions, you don't know what is coming out.
When I like the Akali pick, Rebreathe really confident here versus the Azir. And well, now let's see what Ruzu picks up on 5. I think he has enough picks that are really safe, that still have playmaking. And I would be really hyped to see a Gnar here, but like, it could
It's
practically
not going to be
be anything.
Gnar. The Renekton
It's
makes
gonna
a lot
be a
more sense.
Renekton. That is fair enough. It's that early game pressure on the top lane, that point and click CC for the mid game, and just overall a really nice kit for Gucci Yang to have. And there is not too many good answers into the Renekton at the moment, I think.
I think there's still champions that should be fine. I think actually Shen should be fine in this matchup because of his W. He can, if you use it correctly, it's pretty strong. As they're going to opt into an Ornn, I do think that Renekton should have the advantage in this matchup, but if this Ornn can scale, it's very nice alongside the Azir here, so...
Exactly. That's just laning though, right? Like, Renekton laning into Ornn is always gonna be in Renekton's favor until Ornn is like out of lane anyway. And if Ornn just builds tank enough to have enough tankiness to live through lane, this could be very fine.
I think what would have been a good pickup here as well, I don't know if they play it, is actually the Poppy. I think it can deny Renekton's aggression a bit more in the laning phase, and it makes a lot of sense against Akali and Jarvan. Like, if they ever want to go in, the Poppy can stop them dead in their tracks and pin them down to buy more space for Ezreal and Azir. It would create a very good bow comp, and their only way that Yang is on these picks that they're showing, the only way they can play is by going in, so if you can stop them and outrange them with the Ezreal and the Azir, I think you can win these fights. So
yeah. Now let's quickly look a bit more into the strengths and weaknesses. You already said that Silver Phoenix has poke, and I think they also have great scaling. We have beautiful scaling for Azrael and Azir, which are both terrifying late game carries, and Ornn adds on top of that. And then there's also just the general CC and team fighting capabilities of a Wukong, a Braum, and an Ornn. And all of that synergizes really well, and I think Silver Phoenix has a nice team comp for like team fights that they take at long range and prolong for as long as they can.
yeah, I think scaling is definitely the name of the game for Silver Phoenix. When those Ornn items come through for Ezreal, Wukong, Azir, you have a lot of damage. I think it's clear that Gucci Yang wants to play on a very fast tempo. They want to get ahead. They want to snowball the game. And we've seen that they can do this even with scaling champions in last game as well. So it's kind of scary to go up against Gucci Yang, having snowballed so hard in game 1, to then let them play an early game composition. I hope that Silver Phoenix can hold on, because if they go late, they have angles to win this game, but it's very scary from the draft from Gucci Yang, who actually gets a B1 Jarvan. I don't think we've seen that coming through yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course.
I actually have no idea as well. I would need to double check that. But let's also add some more things. Like you already started saying, the strengths of Gucci Yang's draft are in the early game. But do you think if they don't win the early game, that they're going to crumble, or do you think they also have still realistic chances to just win the game in mid to late game in an even state?
I think when it comes to mid game, I'm mostly looking at the Akali. I think she is the hardest to peel champion in the game, period. And they didn't take something like a Poppy to stop her ultimate, for example, in her tracks. So I think she has a very realistic chance of killing something like an Azir at any point in the game. So if they're going to side lanes, my eyes are on the Akali versus the Azir. I think there's like a very big opportunity for Gucci Yang there every single time. When it comes to late game team fights, 5v5, I think it's a very clear win condition for Silver Phoenix to basically wait for Gucci Yang to pull the trigger and counter the engage. Use the Azir shuffle to push back their Necton, push back the Jarvan, keep that Xayah away from you with the feathers, with the Braum ult coming through to make sure that she can't walk up. Ezreal just jumps back, keeps barraging them with mystic shots, and Wukong is basically waiting on that angle when that Xayah is being left alone to just jump on her and, well, spin circles around her, I guess.
Yeah. Now, with all of that analysis about the draft, who do you think is going to take this second game?
So
just draft wise, not player wise.
Yeah, just draft wise, it's I think I like a lot of what I see from Silver Phoenix, but I'm not sure if I favor Wukong versus Jarvan in Jarvan's current state. I think the Jarvan is just too powerful, honestly. But then again, Ezreal and Azir should be able to kind of like maneuver around it. So, but then the question is, can you survive him? But can you also kill him and still kill the enemy team? That's also the question, right? The only thing that I don't like in the draft personally is the Ornn, because I don't think you're going to be the one who pulls the trigger on Gucci Yang. They have so much mobility anyways. I don't think you want to start the fight, and I don't know how well you can peel the other champions on Gucci Yang's side. So it's also not a strong side laner, so I think the Renekton has, again, a very good angle of getting ahead in lane and being more dangerous and more useful than the Ornn in this draft. So I think, and then on Yang's side, the only thing I have a problem with, I guess, is the Nautilus versus the Braum. But I think with the Jarvan being this strong, the Akali being a solid pick all around, and I think the top lane advantage, I'm gonna give it to Yang. And then I want to add, like, we see them snowball so hard on a late game comp. I think they should be able to do it on early game comp as well. There should be no question that this is going to be a 2-0 for Yang to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I agree with what you said here. I also want to highlight one more thing about Gucci Yang's comp, and that is just the insane synergy between like certain champions. That I think there is going to be a lot of playmaking happening around mid with the Nautilus, with the Jarvan, and it's going to be on Azir to avoid that. However, I think Gucci Yang has a lot of like point and click abilities that can follow up or can be followed up by an Akali, by a Jarvan EQ, and just overall a lot of damage from Xayah. And that is something to keep in mind. That being said, Silver Phoenix still has the late game. I just don't think they'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. I think the draft, early game advantage is too strong for Yang, so I don't know if they're going to get there. One thing is draft wise. The other thing is obviously after this first game, getting snowballed on this hard, how does it affect you mentally? You went 1-1 last week. You kind of need to get a win again, but you're down 0-1 again. But it didn't stop them last week though. So they managed to come back in those fights last week by scrappy team fighting. I think their solo laners were doing a great job, but that was on something like an Aatrox, and it's a lot harder for Ornn to get all the kills in a team fight.
Yeah. Now we'll be taking a quick break until we load into game. Never mind, production is telling me we're going to be loading into the game right now.
There we go.
Break is already over, and buckle up your seatbelts. We're heading into game 2 between Gucci Yang and Silver Phoenix.
Flay's smiling. He wants to play. He wants to go. He took the Nautilus. He's gonna throw that anchor in somebody's face. So we're gonna come out with hiding where red side's at. Oh, they're expecting an invade, but right now nobody's showing as we get a nice ward coming in from Revilo. They're gonna do the same thing they did last game, keeping track of that jungle start on the red buff.
I like that they're doing that though. It shows that they are ready to expect really anything, and that they are willing to even sacrifice parts of the map in order for them to maybe get a slight advantage of a risky play that Gujiang might be doing. And I think that's the same thing they can do, not just like in the uh, pre-game basically with what we see here, but like during the laning phase as well. Maybe they can like have their Ornn suddenly square off against two members of Gujiang, but if they find a play in return on the boss side of the map, that's fine. Same thing the other way around. I think if they do drop, let's say, their support on the bot side of the map and losing a few creeps on the bot side, it's still gonna turn out fine if they find a play on mid lane or something like that. And I'm hoping to see that Silver Phoenix is going to make this game a bit more competitive than the first one, because while their early game was pretty fine in the first game, I think that was just mostly due to them facing off against really scaling champions.
Yeah, no, there's definitely options across the board here. The Wukong is, as he likes to get 6 as well quite rapidly, more than the Jarvan does. I think Jarvan's level 3 gank is really scary. He's still, once he does get 6 with that ultimate, he's very strong, he's very scary. But I don't know where they attack here. Like the Renekton does have a double dash, but if he's already ahead by the time he gets 6, might be rough. Mid lane,
Yeah.
Kali, hard to gank. I think your eyes on his bot lane, and that's why starting top lane is going to come bot lane here. As if they're gonna crash, I think, both junglers at the same time, because you saw the Jarvan. He's a little
Trade
bit
on
faster
top
right now,
lane.
though. Oh, top lane.
And Rozu might be looking for a play, but I don't think he will.
That might have been a little bit aggressive, but he knows he can do this. This is the value of this Raptor ward coming in. They know where the Wukong's at right now, so that's why he's
Oh,
just
but the
proxying
Wukong's
right now.
turning around. He's giving up a few of his camps, and Rozu's recall is going to be really important. Let's see if he can get it through.
He's out.
He should be out here. And
This is-
Thanks not able to find him here is gonna be
This
disastrous.
is rough, though. I think there was no way that Renekton would stay there anyways. He was too low. I think this is... They don't know, actually, this just happened, but this is such a massive advantage. If they now also... They actually have a blue ward here, so they must have known that the Wukong's not here yet.
Now Rebreathe and Revelo spot out. The bot side is not cleared yet. Revelo is starting up the blue buff, and Shanks
getting
doesn't
camps
really
for
have
free.
anything in return. He got the top scuttle, but he's now looking for the top side jungle, and it's cleared out. And Revelo is hitting the blue buff. He should be able to take this. The penalty
You
spots
don't
this play
contest
out,
this.
but that is already a slight jungle lead, even if it's just one camp stolen away from Shanks. That is a jungle lead for the Jarvan, and that's not a position you want to be in.
This is actually like a hidden, beautiful MVP play again from Ruzu. He's drawing that attention top lane, knowing what happened last game. There's so much extra pressure coming up. You don't want your solo laner to get solo killed again. So Ruzu, knowing that the Wukong path at bot side, he just goes for this aggressive proxy. And the Wukong actually kind of like steps into the trap, moves up there, loses so much time, loses camps, and not getting anything in return, while the Jarvan is actually full clearing.
Oh, and Ruzu going for another good trade here. And we already see a bit of CS difference here on the top lane, but I think with the wave crashing into Ornn should be able to pick it up quite nicely. And it's actually fine so far. There's the knock up on against Ruzu and the grass proc. Good trade here for the Ornn.
Yep, he
Punching the
managed to get in
overtap.
there with a tower shot, so we'll end up getting even in health, but another good chunk actually for the Renekton just off screen there. It does look like the Renekton is very much in control of this laning phase, but we're gonna have to see if it actually results in the kills, because if the Ornn, I'm sorry, can hold on, she does scale very nicely, so this Wukong is now on the top side, might be looking to punish the Renekton. Yes, a TP comes down from Ornn. If he just backs away, should be fine though. As we're looking actually to quite an uneventful start, even though we have a Jarvan on blue side. I would have actually expected a gank early on the bot lane, but He's just taking his camps and, well, he's got a lead, so he's happy.
Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. Revelo is there and he's not spotted out by anything. There's the hook from Slade today. Tapavity has to be careful. There's the EQ coming in. Revelo not finding the knock-up means that Silver Phoenix is going to be able to disengage that play. And beautiful stuff there. Getting that jump out saves Tapavity's day.
Oh!
And now Ruzu has to be careful. Kimmich
He
Mitchell
gets
finds the
solo
first
killed.
blood. The absolute Giga Chat R5 Orn.
This is not what I was expecting. We were hyping up Ruzu so much. He plays it. I hype up his first aggression play as well, but he actually managed to get solo killed by the gods of, I guess, hammering. Zorn gets a solo kill. There will be a Drake going down for Gucci Yang, so nothing's lost. They're gonna trade in a way, even though the Wukong wasn't even involved. So we might see a little bit of mid lane action.
Yeah,
don't
I
think the-
hope so. We don't have Blaze ult just yet, but there could be a play. He's just showing, and General Demo immediately ease out. Nothing really lost there. And the Forge God has struck the top lane.
He has struck indeed. Spot lane Desire is being left alone for a moment. I do think the Nautilus will be back in time, so they can't really punish Desire here too much, as he's actually losing a lot of health. But we're just watching some scuttle taking from the Jarvan to build himself a nice lead.
Yeah. And meanwhile in the mid lane, the Akali is actually down 10 CS against the Azir. Which cannot add up later on.
That is kind of classic, I guess, for a melee champion into a ranged champion. She's just kind of waiting for the level 6, which she now did unlock, and I think she's going to be a lot more threatening now, but with the Zir's ultimate, I don't think she's going to look for too much 1v1 aggression, being that close to the tower. He can always just shovel her under that tower, and it would be a very dire prospect, so just going to farm it out. I will say I was expecting more aggression from Gucci Yang with this Jarvan pick, and it's been really quiet so far.
Yeah, SPX is managing the early game pretty well. We're 8 minutes in, and the game is dead even with first blood on the side of the Ornn, and small CS gaps having built in the bot lane and the mid lane as well.
Wukong looking to start this Herald on his own.
Shanks
He is-
starting the Herald is spotted out
he's not
immediately
sick
by
yet.
Revelo, and now he has to be careful. Gets the W over the wall. Revelo did get a good chunk in though, and I think he's very fine to start the Drake. Meanwhile, we see the top lane happening. Ruzu pressing that ult button, being able to tank the Call of the Forge God there, and now we see 4 members around the top side for Silver Phoenix, 3 for Gucci. You don't need to be too good at counting. This one should be in favor of Silver Phoenix just so far, but now there's also Flay and he's full HP. Not having his ult though yet could prove to be a detrimental disadvantage for Gucci Yang, but they're able to start it again. And Silver Phoenix actually backs off.
They're going to be able to get this Herald in the long run, actually. As the Director seems to be quite struggling. Is this Ruzu's secret kryptonite, an Ornn pick? The famously all-class champion? Yes, it was just too strong in the early game as well. And it scales, because of course, he's a master of everything, I guess. As
To be quite frank though, I think a lot of Ornn players heavily profit off the max HP damage from the Brittle procs, and we can see that here against Ruzu. Ruzu already really low HP again, and now with the flash forward is Kimmich Mental able to pick up the kill. The Q gives Ruzu just enough HP to E out.
he almost gets the second solo kill. It's actually just red side top diff, I guess. Like, this is almost the exact same scenario Ruzu found himself in last game. Now he found himself on the receiving end of it by a very different champion, though. So right now, Silver Phoenix looking really good to scale right now.
Okay, and we see the Esmeralda firing off the True Shot barrage, getting a bit of a chunk on Flay in. But now Revelo and Shanks are both around the bot side. And are we expecting to see a counter gank here by Revelo, or is this play by Shanks just going to work out? Kanze already at half HP, has to be really, really careful. Has the Feather Storm at the ready though.
I don't think this is a gank angle from the Jarvan here.
Glacier
Uzziah
is
is very
trying to
low.
bait here, force the play, but I don't think it's going to turn out too well. Revelo is spotted out on the ward here, and
know it's coming.
immediately SPX should be mindful of their position. Beautiful jump out with top gravity here,
He
dodging
saw
the
the monkey.
EQ once again.
They're not gonna fall for it. They're gonna back off. As soon as the Jarvan jumps in, he sees the monkey and is just gonna walk away. I think that's definitely the safer call right now. Uzziah was pretty low. They're getting a good reset for themselves though, so they might be first on the map, as the dragon's also about to spawn in 15 seconds, and this Ezreal, I believe, is sitting on quite a bit of gold. There it is. They see him actually on, he's on a BF sword worth of gold. If he still needs to reset for this Drake, they're going to have to give away a second Drake, and as a scaling team, you don't want to be giving these Drakes away for free. See a bit of a top lane skirmish.
Oh, and look at Ruzo and Kimmich Mental battling out again. But I think
keeps
at
going.
this point, these trades are not too bad for the Ornn with 2 armor items equipped. And we see SPX now on the Drake.
They're
getting
actually
that-
starting this first, and they
Yeah,
get it.
and they're guessing the Infernal Drake, which is really nice for them. That's extra damage stats, which their team is really happy for, especially the Ezreal and the Azir are going to be profiting massively of this.
Yeah, I think this is really big. That's okay. You get a solo plate for the Xayah here, but having your base first, your Jarvan actually being close, I find it very surprising that they give away the Drake here for free. It would have been really nice advantage for Gucci Yang here, but yeah, Silver Phoenix kind of sneak it away under their noses here. I don't think they expected this, or at least they weren't preparing properly for it. Maybe.
Oh,
As,
Topavity has to be careful
Oh.
here. He can't walk up like that. And that should be a kill for Kansei. Actually, Flater gets it, and Revelo flashes under the turret to secure it, but he doesn't get the kill. And now Flay is the one.
Oh,
to
and the
ultimately
Herald
pick up
coming
the kill.
down.
But there should be still so much gold for Kansei and Revelo to pick up here.
This, I find myself very confused as to what Topavity was trying to do there with your 80 carry basing. You were sitting already on a lot of gold. Ezreal wants to have his power spike. As we also get the Herald coming down, I think it's a lot of gold invested into the Xayah.
Oh, and
think
now
if
look
wanna
at
play
General
for
Gamble.
her-
He has to play this so safe. He is very aware of his positioning, though. And should be fine here.
They don't
And now
quite see the
Revelo
control.
finds Aglesia. Aglesia uses the E to get out of the Cataclysm, though. Beautiful stuff.
They're not
And
gonna catch.
actively trading the ult for nothing, just a little bit of his HP. And he should be able to just clear the minions here.
They're not going to
Father
catch an
Willie.
Ezreal like that, though. As we see top lane Ruzu going for another proxy, but the Wukong's pretty close. This might be risky.
Rozo is not in the greatest position here, but I think he should be fine. They're trading stuns here, the knockup coming in for Kimmich Mental.
he's dead.
And now Ruzu going over the wall, knowing that Shanks is there, actually able to get out of this play, just barely escaping.
The Wukong just jumps a little bit early as the Renekton actually gets to the other side, and he won't be able to follow up as he barely escapes there. I think that should have been a kill for Silver Phoenix. Gonna be sad, I think, not to pick that up, because that would have been a nice advantage, getting this one even further ahead. That means he's gonna be absolutely fine in the 1v1. So, as we see, maybe a little bit of an angle, but it's too big of a minion wave for the Akali here. She wants to pick it back up. She's not gonna look on the Azir just yet. So we see supports. At least Flay going top lane with the Herald spawning. I think it's clear what the Gucci Yang wants to play for next, I suppose.
Yeah, and let's quickly say something, because I think we have not said it on stream yet. Before the stream, we just quickly discussed that we have not really had too many LCK-ish games in the SLE
Yeah.
so far, and now we're at 15 minutes and there's 2 kills on the board, which is really unusual, and I'm really not too disappointed seeing that.
I think it's very good for Silver Phoenix right now. Now, aside from the fact that I think they missed out on a kill for themselves here, I think so far they're very much playing towards their win condition, which is just outscaling them with this Azir pick and this Ezreal here. Right now, slowing down the game. They're not even behind in Drakes. I think it's really good for them. As long as they keep answering every aggressive play from the Jarvan, I think they
Yeah,
can
no, General
get
Demo
away.
has to be careful. Finding that dodge on the hook, still gets knocked up by the ult, but the two-man shuffle into the turret should be good enough to disengage the play, and that's 2 kills for SPX. Algacia and General Demo pick up kills. Beautiful stuff from the Azin here.
As we just highlighted, they're just matching every aggressive play that Yang is trying to make, so it's a really good pathing from Shanks, as they're also calling everybody else in as well, as they might get another kill here.
And there's the Blade Caller and Featherstorm, and that's a kill for Kanze. And now Kanze is maybe looking for more. He isn't really able to close the distance, but Algacia is taking a big damage here and has to use his exhaust to get out of this situation.
I actually thought they might have almost gotten an extra kill here, but diving them is just a little bit too much. They got themselves nice 2 kills.
Shanks is not on vision. This is actually playable for him, but now he walks onto the wave, just hoping to get a position for the Drake. And let's look at this again.
I think you have to look at the Azir here. He immediately shovels 2 people under the tower. It's
Also,
very
dodge
scary
on
to
the hook
engage on
is
them.
really smart because he steps forward and not backwards to dodge the hook, which is not something easy to do.
Yeah, and there you see that when the 2 people are under the tower, they also find themselves in a 4v3. They have the advantage, they get their 2 kills. They sadly did overbid a bit when they were trying to get that tower and trying to get some more kills there. Just the top lane. Is this another
Look at
solo kill?
Ruzu. I don't think we'll see a solo kill. I think Call of the Forge God will never deal enough damage with Ruzu having his ult available. That being said, though, it's a really trade-heavy top lane, and the Drake is up. So if any of these top laners die, they can just have the winning top laner recall and TP to the Drake to join in on the fight.
I believe they're actually gonna cross map here. I think they're gonna look to dive the Ornn as they give away a Drake here. You see 3 people up there. This has to be a dead Forge God.
Oh, this should be the death of Ornn, the fall of Ornn, but that means that on the other side of the map, and that's what we've been highlighting earlier, SPX is going to find a play, even if it's just a Drake. That is stats that they build up, and that can give them enough time as well, because as long as Gucci Yang is not stacking Drakes, I don't see them with the current gold standings to really have a factor in late game against Silver Phoenix.
Yeah, as you highlight the gold, it's actually still a gold advantage for Gucci Yang now after this play. They get themselves a nice tower here as they get another kill for Ruzu, probably putting him in a little bit better spot against Ornn. Although he is building Goredrinkers, he's not looking to 1v1. He wants to team fight with this item. It's on a very good spot as well.
Rebrief getting a bit of a chunk in on Shanks. Not enough to take him down, and Rebrief has to be careful with the Ezreal and Braum disengaged there.
They have
Which
quite
is not
safe
out of
champions.
the
They're going
fight
to
just
be
yet, but they're looking for more curious plays now with the 5-man in the mid lane.
as they both stare each other down from under the tower. Neither side is going to be able to pull the trigger there. I think it's smart for SPX to not do it, and I think as well for Gucci Yang they realize that they don't want to find themselves in a tower dive scenario again. Even though Dizir's not there, he has TP. So we're gonna be in a more of a neutral lane state right now. Just see the mid laners clearing mid lane. They're gonna play for Prio as they move into the jungle, get some vision as Baron is up in 20 seconds, as this might be the big fight for the big purple worm that will break open the game and start getting a solid lead for either side here.
I don't think either team has strong enough of a lead, though, to look for the purple worm. That being said, though, I think SPX is in a great position simply because there is no lead on the board.
I think what Silver Phoenix need to do here is just keep track of this worm so that it can't be snuck away by Gucci Yang. And I think Gucci Yang themselves, as you say, they don't think they have quite the lead to just forcefully take the Baron, but they might look for a pick around it that could lead into a Baron take. So right now, they just need to both keep track of it, because it might be an opportunity to get a bit of a more solid footwork into this game. As Silver Phoenix looks to be quite on track for scaling, they're also going to get Cloud Soul.
Look at the oranges tanking Ruzu there on the top lane. Now he has to E out. He has no turret, and there is Revelo coming in, but there's also Shanks, and Gucci immediately calls this play off, but Shanks getting that knock up, and the Call of the Force God should be doing the job, doing the trick. Shanks finds the kill, flashes out. There's a TP coming in from General Demo, and now this is a full-on fight. On the Akali has to get out, but the Q from the Braum, he connects, and now General Demo wants to look for more, but there's the beautiful ult from Flay today to disengage the play, and there is Topavity on the hunt, but there is no way he's going to get close, and the play is over, and it's a 1-for-1, and Gucci Yang is actually able to pick up a turret.
It started with a
Oh,
simple
but now
trade.
look at Shanks, though. Shanks caught out, walking right into the hands of Kansei. And that is exactly what Gucci Yang has been hoping for. And with 2 members down, they're starting up the Baron.
That might
They're
be
risking
Baron,
it all.
exactly.
Topavity, General Demo, and Aglesia are still on the board. They might be able to contest this 3v5, but it's not going to be an easy fight. This is going to be an uphill battle for SPX. Flay today already taking a big chunk. There's Kimik Metal having to peed in. The Topavity is taking a bit of space in the river, pushing forward. The Baron is at 4,000 HP. Ruzu, Revelo are hitting it, but there is Kimik Mental and General Demo, and 2 kills for Darzier. Beautiful feather storm, but it's not gonna be enough. There's 2 kills for Kimik Mental. Kansei has to flash out, and SPX are in the lead right now.
Oh my
Looking for
word!
the Baron themselves.
What a round of skirmishes! It starts in top lane. It looks like just a trade as it turns into a full-blown fight with cooldowns burned left and right as only top laners fall. And then Shanks actually gets caught in the Baron pit, which just gives Yan the idea that they can sneak away this Baron, but SPX is not letting them take it for free, and they take a full-blown fight, and I think you're starting to see the scaling coming through. I think it almost looked like a good turn for Xayah here when she pulls up the massive feathers, but the damage was already dealt by this Azir.
Yeah,
As
there
she
was
finds
just
herself
beautiful
all
execution
alone.
here from
Yes.
General Demo, and let's just add one more insult to injury. We went from LCK to NA in like 2 minutes, and I love it.
I wouldn't quite go that far as to call it an A play. I think that's
Alright,
a
we
really
went from
big
LCK to
insult,
SLE.
but,
Back to
anyways,
reality.
as we're looking now for the 3rd Drake for Silver Phoenix with this Baron take, they actually have the lane prior to get it. Ruzu will be looking to chunk this top lane tower as Ornn is running down to answer that push. That puts them now in Soul Point, and as I was trying to say earlier, I think the Soul Drake would be really big for them when they blow their
There's
ult-
one more
their
thing to
ultimate.
say though. Now look at Kimmich Mental. He needs to be careful. Flay is getting in a bit of CC, but Kimmich Mental is just too tanky, having built almost. I mean, he has built only armor items so far, and with the Akali not really being a threat to him, that's totally fair.
I think it's a very smart build adaptation here. The only threat to him is exactly the Akali and magic damage, but Akali doesn't want to be killing an Ornn. She wants to kill Azir. She wants to kill Ezreal. So he's just free to build as much armor as he wants.
Yeah.
As I was trying to highlight
Oh,
this.
the solo Bolu
Cloud
on the bot side. Azir going crazy, and that's the pick we
Very low.
highlighted for red side on 4th pick. Now General Demo gets knocked up by Revelo, and there's the return kill shutdown for Ruzu. But really, who can stop SPX right now? They are only 1k gold ahead, but they have the better scaling, and they are finally ahead in gold and have that momentum that they put on the map, and that's a beautiful ult from the Braum as well. Kansei going to fall here as well, and this is so much momentum they're building up. It looks like they could be taking it up here.
I don't know if they can quite go for the end, but they still have Baron buff. If they don't really have good wave clear, but they're going to just walk away now. They're gonna maybe take some jungle camps. There was a really nice call of the fork shot here to zone off the side to deny any wave clears. They take down the tower. I think it was quite a mistake for the Jarvan to jump on in there anyways, as you see that their team fight 4v4 was still too strong, and the Renekton was not quite ready to jump in and follow, so they're gonna pick themselves up 2 nice kills and break their first inhibitor, as they're probably getting a top lane tower as well for free.
Yeah, and now let's think about this really quick. What are we like seeing? What can we do as Gucci Yang to come back into this game? Who is the dedicated carry? They're only down 4k gold, yet
Looking for
it doesn't
chase.
look like they have any place. And now that being said though, there is a beautiful hook from Flay today, but it's not enough. And there's a kill for Aglacia, but there's also the return kill from Rebrief. And now it's a 3v3, completely chaotic situation. Russo is the next to fall. And there is also Shanks moving up to the play. It's still possible for SPX to turn this fight around. Rebrief, really low HP. Revelo finding a kill or helping Kansai find a kill, but has to disengage now. And there's the flash engage from Shanks. There's the call of the Forge got 2-man knock up. General Demo finds the next kill, another one, and it's only
Take it go for the end here.
against the world. There is already the TP into the base. Kimmich Mental is hitting the Nexus turrets. There's Flay today already back on the Rift, and Kimmich Mental not able to quite finish it just yet, but there's the cavalry arriving, and that should just be the trick. Shanks is there and hitting the turret. General Demo actually backed off a bit early, and there's a good knockup from Flay today. Again, Nexus is open, but now SPX is actually not in a too great spot. Russo already down to half HP though. General Demo has to be careful. Flay today is looking for more rebrief, also going for the flash, ult E, and finds to execute onto General Demo. And there's Shanks also taking a big chunk, but is he able to get out? I don't think so. Russo is there, and that's a kill for him.
Massive
SPX is
shutdowns
making
coming
this
through.
exciting.
There's getting massive shutdowns here, taking down the Azir. There's a lot of gold swing back to them. There's also pretty long death timers. They might be looking for a third of themselves. There's no Drake quite yet to pick up here to deny them the Cloud Soul, but what a long series of fights here. They almost try to get the Nexus as well. I think maybe it was a little bit too early with the cooldowns. Not be long enough. Another fight?
For play on top Havati, but this is not good. He doesn't have the damage to look for these plays, especially not both Kimmich Mental around as well. But there's the 5-man of Gucci now, right at the turret. Kimmich Mental not getting a knock-up of the E. And Aglacia is on the Ezreal. He's on the hunt, and he's looking for the damage. And now Kimmich Mental with the knock-up, with the call of the Forge God. Russo's low HP, but is not actually able to die really here. And Raglo is looking for something, but honestly, all of them have to base here, and this is just a free soul for SPX.
They're not gonna keep trying to go for the end here, even though their health bars are low. I think it might have been an opportunity. They're just gonna take their Cloud Soul as their prize here. I think it was I thought they were almost gonna like die when they tried to defend that tower there, but they actually managed to hold a stand. And when everybody comes down here, they're gonna have Pry on this Drake. There's no way Gucci Yang can contest this. It's gonna drop in a matter of seconds as they're going to now all have to sprint towards this Baron buff, because as Gucci Yang, I don't think you can give this away.
And we see the soul secured for SPX. They're in prime position to get their second 1-1, this time in week 2, adding on to their first 1-1 in week 1. And Gucci Yang is just trying their best to
They're going to take
make
control of this
duo.
river though. They have control of this top side, as the Ruse is looking there to get some vision down to maybe see if they will attempt it, but it's going to be cleared right away. Razir is actually on top side. Is this maybe a small opportunity they can use here? Oh, he doesn't quite get the cancel on the Braum there.
This
Now
could be...
we're now going to see this dance of vision as now blue side takes the river again. They're going to put their own vision down. I think there should have been more wards coming out from Silver Phoenix though. They could potentially maybe put in a Norn from TP or something. But
the next few fights are going to be
Azir
really
is
decisive,
all
and
alone.
General Demo has to be careful. Kanze is there though, and now the rest of SPX is there, and there's the engaged Shanks using the old rules of disengaging the play though, but in the meantime Flay falls, and there's also Revelo falling, and that should be a Baron for SPX, and Baron could be lethal at this point in the game.
I think this might have been the game. It looked like they were collapsing on the Azir, but in the end, with a nice blast going from DMO, he puts him behind 2 players, ults them immediately forward as they pick up 2 kills. It's very nice. They're gonna get the Baron. 2 people still dead. I think they can just end it here. Like within 20 seconds, they're on this Nexus.
Okay. This is SPX, our and they are
How do you
looking
defend
for
this?
their time to shine. Ruzu is going in there, but there's just no way. Rebreathe getting a lot of damage done, but gets exhausted, and there's no way he can do enough. And the
Allegations
plays from
alive.
SPX are just really good. Aglacia lives, Shanks lives, Topavity is there, Kimmich Mental getting a knock up onto Flay. This should be it. There is no chance for Gucci Yang to come back from this
They're
gold
gonna fountain
and
dive.
level
Actually,
deficit,
just
and
kill him.
that is game 2, 1-1 for SPX and Gucci Yang. And our first game of week 2 concludes.
A great comeback from Silver Phoenix. Absolutely, really well played. I think they just took the game slowly. They were tracking the enemy jungle. They're getting to scale, and you see how their comp comes to life. They just answer all the aggression, and they get the win on the board. Really well done from Silver Phoenix here.
Yeah, they absolutely played it well. I think we highlighted it and again during the game. There was not a lot of action in the early game, and that's exactly what they wanted. And I think that is also mostly due to what they did. They really just played it safe and had enough awareness and vision to prevent any plays from happening. And honestly, it's just an overall really good individual performance from every single member. And as a team, they also played well in these fights.
Yeah, I think they all stepped up a lot this second game here, especially top lane. I think he didn't just hold his own. He actually got the solo kill back on Ruzu. I think it was you see a lot of a difference now coming through if your top lane is just winning, and Wukong is just kind of free to just match every aggressive play that the Jarvan was looking for. And you saw the value coming through of the Azir against this engaged comp. Like if they ever do try anything, you saw them getting like pushed under the tower or just pushed off in a team fight, and then the follow-up damage comes through as well. I think there were definitely options for Gucci Yang with this Jarvan, but I think they might have had to look for a little bit more of a creative angle with it. So overall, I think Silver Phoenix really nice to step up this game too, actually, and I think they kind of held control pretty much the entire game. So I'm really impressed with the difference in play between game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, same here. And one more thing I have to add because I think it will add to our own portfolio of skills. We've gotten both predictions wrong today.
Yeah,
We've predicted wrong both game 1 and game 2.
I don't know.
SPX proving us wrong in game 2, and I think that's really cool. But before we continue talking about that, I want to hear who was your MVP for game 2.
I mean, I went first last time. You can go first this time.
All right, then I'll have to give it to none other than Aglacia. I think the Ezreal play was really good and was crucial. And while I think the Azir in general was absolutely popping off, and there was this massive two-man knock up into the turret in the mid lane, I think a lot of credit to the late game performances of SPX goes to Aglacia, and I think that's why I'm giving my vote to the Ezreal.
Yeah, fair enough. Personally, I think I would actually give it to the Azir. I think Allocatia did a really good job in staying alive and managing to stay relevant with a lot of poke, but I think the vital piece in this comp to me was the Azir shuffle, and I think in every time he pressed it, I think it was really on point, and it just made the difference in these fights. I think to me that was just too important for this comp to come through to win it. I think for me that's why I would give it to General DMO. And I also want to give a shout out to the Wukong though. I think his tracking of Revilo was really good. So I think they all as a team, they really stepped up. So I think props to Silver Phoenix here.
I think I can also agree with your vote. So if you want to settle it in agreement, I will join you on the Azir vote. It was really close between General DMO and Aglacia for me, and I think it's fine to say that both of them played incredible and they deserve the victory here.
Yeah, congrats, General DMO, then, I suppose.
And with that being said, do you have any final words for today's stream?
I personally was delighted to be here. First time casting on the SLE. I had a blast, and I really want to thank the teams here for the entertainment. The fact that we were wrong both predictions, I think it just shows that the game was not predictable, and it just highlights the hype for these games anyways, as well as the the league, the SLE as a whole. So thank you to be here, and good night to you all. What about you, Jiu?
Yeah, I'm also as always really hyped to be here, and I'm just thankful to see such close games. Especially the second one was just exciting all around, and I can't wait to see more. Split 5 is absolutely on fire, and we have so much more to come down the line in this week. Can't wait to have you all be back. And with that, I'm out.